Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Delaware, and welcome to the Owens campus. My name is Chris Moody, and I'm the Director of Corporate and Community Programs here at the Owens campus. Today's presenters, our first presenter will be Catherine and Kevin Hester. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it on? Yes. Okay. Just to start off, we are from Teller Wines, a small boutique wine shop just up the street in Lewis, Delaware. My uniqueness comes from the way we purchased, the way we came into this business. It was an established business. It's been in the area for about 10 years now. We took it over earlier this year. So when we moved here in 2011, full-time. We've had a place here for a long time, but we moved here full-time in 2011. Started looking for things to do. Catherine, ever the volunteer, was working for Coastal Concerts, very nice program in the Lewis area, and was selling ads. Okay, so she went into Teller Wine, said, you know, would you buy an ad? Come on. And Steve said, the previous owner said, I'm sorry, I'm selling the business. That was our cue. Okay, my wife and I have been foodies and winos for forever. I mean, we married in '83 and did our honeymoon in Santa Barbara, and we did the Sideways thing before there was Sideways. So all of that area, and since then traveled the world, 5 continents, and drinking wine, eating good food. So when we found out this came up for sale, we thought, good idea. I need something to do right now. So we did some research. I did some research. We found an entrepreneurial class or function up at the library here in Georgetown on the 2nd floor. Got together all of the good small business ones, the Development and Training Center, the SBA, the AARP, several others. Wonderful resources for entrepreneurs. Went through that. They helped me to develop a business plan. Also in working with friends and neighbors, getting to different associations, starting to networking. Mr. South in the back there, one of my big friends and fans, helped me get into the Rotary, made some great connections there. That also helped us get to the banks. We met many bankers that way, interviewed several of them, found one that was very big into small business loans, and they went with them and they approved our loan. So we wound up from, March of 2012 is when she was selling the ads. April 2nd of this year, we closed. So it was like a little over a year's process. So a lot of anguish, a lot of research, like I said, help with the business plan and everything. Finally got everything to come together, and we've taken over, and
we're on. Takes us a couple minutes, right?
A second should be. There you go. There you go.
We're on the map. We're on the map. Okay. So we're like Kevin said, we believed in Teller's mission when we were customers of Teller, because we were big consumers of wine, as he indicated. And Teller is about a mile away from where we lived. So when we came here from Maryland to downsize, simplify, reduce, part of our goal was to also reduce the environmental impact. And so now, instead of Kevin driving 3 hours a day from where we used to live in Maryland to Washington, D.C. to work, and me driving an hour to Baltimore, now we each have he has a 1-mile commute. I have a 6-mile commute, woo, down to Dewey Beach, where I'm still working part-time as a beach judge. So anyway, yes, my background is that I'm a lawyer and a part-time judge now. So on our website here, we had a good friend design the website for us, but it tells you a little bit about, about us, some of the links, about our store, if you want to go to the store part, dear. The mission of the store is Steve had always had a very small, unique, boutique-y wine niche, okay? So we're not selling, I'm sorry to offend Yellowtail fans, we don't sell Yellowtail, we don't sell Bud Light. We carry only small boutique wines from small family-owned wineries from across the world. Mostly we try to go organic if we can. We believe in sustainable orchards. We believe in sustainable viticulture. And the interesting thing and the unique thing that about Teller, the physical brick and mortar store, is that we don't, our mission is we believe that a good wine knows what you like, all right? People come into wine stores, they might be overwhelmed, they're like, oh, I don't know, I think I had something from Italy, but I don't know if it was red or white, or I don't know if it was a Chianti, I don't know if it was a Semillon, I don't know if it was a Pinot Noir from Australia. You don't have to worry about that when you come to Teller. First of all, our store is no bigger than this platform here, and we display our wines by their flavor profile. So if you can describe the flavor you like, so friends of ours will say, well, I like a really light white. I don't know what it's called, but so we'll take you to the light, fresh and clean section. We have 9 flavor profiles from fresh and clean to juicy and fruity to noble and sticky, which is our ports, to big and concentrated, to aromatic and crisp, to smooth and structured. So if you can describe, the kind of wine you like, if somebody comes in and says, I'm going to a wedding shower and I think I want something bubbly, so we might refer you to a Cava or a Prosecco and explain about it. So every customer who comes to our store, the former customers and new customers who don't know about our store will get a personalized tour if they have the time. And most of the time, people would love to understand more about wine. So we take the time. Our staff has a combined retail experience, 24 years. Kevin and I, although we're new to the retail business, like you said, we've had a lot of wine in our lives. So now we're learning more about the structure of the wines and how to impart our passion and our knowledge about drinking wine and good wines and trying to help our customers find what it is that they like. So that's our focus, right? So, what else did you want to say? Oh, the outreach, yes. One of the things that we wanted to do was, when we came to this community, of course, new full-time to Sussex County, we live in Lewis, we've always been big into volunteerism, and we believe in our community. A strong community is a diverse community. And so, in addition to volunteering, Kevin and I wanted to expand Teller's reach, if you will. And we do that by contributing and donating wines to good causes, to, whatever. There's the autism ball coming up. We've had wine tastings at the Dover Air Museum. We've had donated cases of wine to auctions for BB Hospital, wine baskets to Rehoboth Art League, to, you name it. It's sort of on our Delaware Tag. We did Del Tag. Yes, we were here at Starry Night. Exactly. We're done. Okay, I'm sorry. We're done. All right, so anyway, go on our website. We have free wine tastings every Saturday. We have these brack cards here. Tell your friends and family. I mean, wine should be fun. Wine should be social. It shouldn't be intimidating. So come to our store. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. You can hold on to it. I'm going to ask you if there's any questions. Okay. Are there any questions for Catherine and Kevin? Questions? A couple of questions. See if that's
Kevin,
live.
can you talk more about the financing?
The financing, with what respect? I mean, there is
How
a...
difficult it was to get, etc.
It was not overly difficult, but it was time-consuming. It was a little bit tedious. There are many forms that need to be filled out. Excuse me. I was approved for an SBA loan, so it's an SBA guaranteed loan. But the SBA, I don't know how familiar you are, but the SBA does not loan money anymore. The SBA guarantees a loan through a bank. So because of that process, it's like a 2-layer that you have to go through. You have to get approved by the bank, and then you have to get approved by the SBA also. So there are many forms, and like I said, you have to have in place a business plan, like a projection for the next 5 years, what you expect this business to do, what kind of research you did, with your demographics and what your goal is, and all kinds of fun things like that. But it is not, like I said, a difficult process, and there are many helps out there. I mean, the business and training, small business, I can never remember what it is, SBDTC. Development and Training Center. Development and Training Center, yes, those guys, they're great. Okay, they helped me a very lot with the business plan and everything, so.
Are there any other questions?
Any more? Or?
As you look back at the year that it took to acquire this business, what was the most difficult part of that year?
The waiting, definitely the waiting, yeah. Yeah, because getting things in and dealing with the bureaucracy, I think, was the biggest. Going back and forth with, the bank said this and then the SBA said that, and right, the SBA, the AARP, the SBDTC, there were a lot of fingers involved. So trying to please everyone and get everything coordinated was one of the big things.
Are there any other questions?
So this will be a two-part question, okay?
Certainly.
One, where do you see Teller in 2 years, 3 years? Where are you going long-term? And two, how do you impart to your employees your passion for what you do?
Ooh, good one. Okay. As far as where we see ourselves in the future, we are not looking at a lot of expansion. When I did renegotiate the lease, I don't know if you're familiar with where we are, but we're in a little strip mall. We have the end unit. There's a lawyer's office and a restaurant, Annabella's Restaurant. When I renegotiated the lease for that space, I had a right of first offer put into that. So if any of those spaces are vacated, I have first option to take them over. So we are looking at maybe taking over part of the restaurant and doing a tasting bar kind of thing. That would be interesting. Taking over the lawyer's office, maybe pushing the beers. I do sell, it is Teller Wines, but we do, by law, sell beer and liquors also. So,
Small batch, small production.
right. I mean, I would stay with that. I do a lot of the locals, the 16 Mile, the Dogfish Head, the Evolution.
T.S. Smith.
I would expand that into the lawyer's office and make that a little bit separate. So, and expand the wine into where the beer is now. So there are a few things that we're looking at doing, but
Back in 1982, oh, yes, well, no, 92, sorry, fast forward a decade, when one of our first sort of date night out after we had our kids, my parents flew back here from California to babysit. So we went to, what did we do? We spent the weekend in St. Michael's, Maryland, on a wine weekend, yeah. So we learned about wine and whatever. So we met friends there, and we had always thought it'd be great to open like a wine bar, back in the 90s. And we call it Sonoma's, how original, but whatever. So that never came to fruition, but it'd be great if we could, expand, kick Larry Pfeiffer out to the other end of the strip mall, and then take over his space and have like a little wine tasting barrel room. That's how we would like to expand.
I wish Larry well too. He should move into a bigger office.
Yeah. And what was the second part of the question about?
Encourage the
Well,
personnel.
we were so fortunate because all three of them, initially, three gals that had worked for Steve for the last 8 to 10 years, wanted to stay. They're all part-timers, all right? So we need the most number of staff on Saturdays during the tastings because it's crazy, the store is packed on Saturdays. But they already have the passion, right? So how we motivate them is by, sharing our enjoyment and our passion and how we treat our customers. And we've learned a lot from them. They've taught us so much because they knew the customers. They knew the customers' dogs' names. We have dog biscuits under the counter. So when our regular customers come in, Karen's out there saying, "Oh, hi, Joe. Oh, hi, Nikki." She's taught us so much about, how to deal with customers, and she's knowledgeable about wine too. So we're coming up to speed, and one of Steve's on the website, we're true to form, Truth in Advertising, it says we have tasted every wine in the store. Well, Steve has in the last 10 years. We've got a lot of catching up to do because that is the only way that we can ensure that we're bringing quality wine into the store. That's part of our personalized service that we want to impart, right? So that's the passion part. The passion part's already sort of built in.
And that is part of what we share with the employees also. They have their voice, okay? They taste the wines also.
Yes.
And
They keep notes. They have books.
They each have a book.
Every
and they
wine,
take
every
notes,
rep that
right.
comes in the store on Mondays and Tuesdays, Kevin, Karen, and the staff are tasting. I'm a little behind because I'm not in the store except on Saturdays. So, but we do taste the wines. They keep notes on all of the tasting notes, the flavors, and they decide which wines to buy based on that. So that's you know, the personal touch from the very beginning. Another question?
It's entirely possible. Like I said, the Annabella's...
Said tapas bar, tapas.
Tapas bar.
Not topless, tapas. Tapas. Spanish, like this, okay?
Yes, exactly.
Little sangria, little foods, okay. Well, this is true. This is true. So
Yeah, exactly.
that is a possibility.
That's
like
the
I
other
said,
thing that Kevin and I decided to do, and I write, you know, since we like to eat and I like to cook, that's one of the paellas that I made last year I like to cook a lot. I don't cook like that every night, but I started writing a blog, and Bob Yazbek, the Rehoboth foodie, and I, you know, started connecting, and he said, why don't you write a piece on his site called Chasing the Grape? You know, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Bob Yazbek, the Rehoboth foodie. He does restaurant reviews in the Rehoboth, Lewis, Georgetown, this whole basically lower Sussex County area. So I started writing, like every 2 or 3 weeks or so, I write a piece. And his main focus is he wants us to tell his readers why we chose a specific wine. And then I suggest a food pairing with it. So I said to Kevin, I am like in seventh heaven. I mean, you know, this is like the most fun I've ever had, you know, doing something like this, which is we love talking about wine, drinking wine, cooking, and then showing our customers, you know, this is how you can pair it. You can compare a Chardonnay with, with a lobster dish, or you can pair an organic Tempranillo with paella. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. So if you go to our website, you'll see our blog is called Drink Me. And if you go on the Bob Rehoboth Foodie site, it's going to be under Chasing the Grape. So that's how we do the outreach and the expansion, too, to just include more people. The more people learn about wine and know about wine, the more they're going to love it. I mean, people want to learn. We have a pretty sophisticated, you know, customer base, but then we also have people who come in who are totally clueless, but then by the time they leave, they've bought 2, 3, 5, 6, sometimes a case.
They feel good about themselves and their selection.
Exactly, because because we've shared our knowledge and our passion with them.
Can you or do you export? Don't ship at all?
Delaware law does not.
It is
not
illegal
allow
in the state
shipping.
of Delaware. You must, in a retail shop, you must come in and pick up your wine.
We have a lot of disappointed friends across the country.
And also, the workshop you were talking about was open for business. By the way, it's moved to follow 1 million cups on the 3rd Thursday of the month. So I want to let you know. So I appreciate that you mentioned that.
So come here. It'll be here after.
If she give a scale 1 to 5, 5 being very, very happy for you running this wine tasting business, what's your happiness level?
Happiness level.
Oh my God, happiness level would be like off the charts. Off the charts. You know what they always said, and we've never been entrepreneurs. Kevin's worked in IT for 30 years. I've worked in law for 30 years. You know, we've never been entrepreneurs. So this is a new undertaking for us, but we're big believers in, you know, the old saying that if you really are passionate about something, then you're going to be successful. The knowledge can come later. We can learn the mechanics. We can research wines. We can read. But if you have a passion for it, I'm sorry?
We can drink those wines.
Yeah, we can drink those wines. Yeah, product research has taken on a whole new, different meaning.
This is more of a comment maybe than a question, but you have really a powerful ability to teach because you are so in love with what you're doing. And I think 2 of the things you talked about really struck me. One is, you know, how you're doing the profiles and really organizing your store in a unique way. The other thing is you've traveled the world and you can tie your stories, like being in Barcelona, to the wine. And those 2 can really differentiate. You may not want to grow anymore, but I think you have a tremendous opportunity to really market from that teaching perspective and really be a standout. So I don't know if you have plans along that level of, you're doing a lot from what you said,
Right.
but I don't know if you want to do more.
Well, one of the other services that we do offer is we do tastings. We had one, we're living currently in the villages of 5 Points, and shortly after we took over, we did a tasting at 5 Points. We took over the community center, all of the owners came, not all, but all the neighbors and the owners came, and we did a tasting for them, okay? 6 wines, much like we do at the office. We have done that also in people's homes. So, like I said, that is one of the other outreaches, that is one of the other teaching opportunities, like you say, that we do have, because we will work with you, we will pick a theme. We can do wines around the world, we can do wines of Italy,
Well, and
whichever,
also-
and then we can talk about the wines and talk about, maybe we were in that location, in that area, or...
But on a larger scale, and I appreciate that comment, because I think that's something that we would love to do eventually. Steve used to have classes, from what we understand, when he and his sister-in-law owned Teller 10 years ago, I believe. They were first located near Nassau Vineyards, or Nassau Commons, and they had classes there. And so we don't have the physical space, unfortunately, but what we have done, and what we're going to do next Thursday, is we're partnering with Paul Cullen. I don't know how many of you know Paul Cullen, but he's a former member of the Bad Company. He's a bass guitarist. He's like a Renaissance man, and he's also has a cooking class at the Cordry Center. Is that right?
Yes.
Cordry Center. So he has invited us to partner with him. So we're going to be talking about the wines. He's cooking Italian next Thursday. So, and he's going to be ordering some wines from us, Italian wines. So we're going to be talking about the wines, and he's going to be doing the cooking demo. So partnerships in the community is something that certainly we are looking into and have already started embarking on. And I believe, a strong community, we believe a strong community is also one that collaborates and partners. So any chance that we have to seek out other small businesses that we can partner with, thumbs up.
What else could we do as a community to help you?
Come to the store and let us share our passion. And one of the other things that Steve started that Kevin has taken over is in addition to the flavor profiles, customers have the choice to leave their name in our register. So that way you have your own personalized wine portfolio. So we track your purchases. So next time you come in, people say, well, I had this really great Pinot Grigio. I don't know what it was. Look it up. Oh, here's what it was. So they can buy it. And other people come in and say, I'm visiting my aunt here. She shops here a lot. I don't know what she likes. We'll look up Aunt Josie's name and we can tell the customers what they like, So.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thanks so much.